Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. My name's Mariella, and my channel is In the Kitchen with Mariella. But today, I'm not in the kitchen. Today, I want to talk on a subject that is near and dear to my heart. October is National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So, I want to have a conversation about domestic violence. So, let's get started. Domestic violence is not just a physical violence. It is emotional, financial, sexual, spiritual, psychological, and legal. Domestic violence isn't always visible. It's hidden in homes, in courtrooms. Courts often minimize and enable abuse. Police aren't properly trained to handle domestic violence cases. Laws are poorly written. Legislation aren't pressured to fix them. Survivors often escape their abusers and then have to survive the system. This is so the system that is supposed to protect them but doesn't always work. And it's sad because it's so true. The legal system doesn't always work. And I'll give you an example. The first time my abuser ever put his hands on me, I called the police. The police came because he literally choked me until I passed out. And I called the police, and when the police finally showed up, they said, well, you don't have no physical evidence that he even choked you. Because by the time they got there, my neck wasn't red anymore. And the bruises hadn't showed up yet. So they went in the apartment and they talked to him, and he told him I was crazy, that he never choked me and all this. So they came back out and told me that it was my word against his, that there was nothing they could do. And at that point, I knew that if he ever laid his hands on me again, that I couldn't call the police because they weren't going to do anything. But let me tell you, the final time when I left for good and I went to get a restraining order and I went to press charges, the first thing they said was, did you ever call the police when he put his hands on you? And I said no, and I explained why. And they told me that without having a police report for every time that he put his hands on me, even if the police said that, there was nothing that they could do, I still needed to report it so that way they would have a record of how many times they were called to the apartment for domestic violence. So if you're in an abusive situation, no matter what the police tell you when they come out, please just keep calling them. Abuse takes Abuse takes your voice. When you finally speak out, you are questioned, shamed, minimized. You're called a liar because people don't believe you. And people will ask you, well, if it was so bad, why didn't you leave? People just don't understand. And we'll get into that more. So many abusers, they smile, they laugh, they have good jobs, they'll bring you flowers, they'll charm your pants off. They manipulate, they wear several masks. They are one way in public and another way behind closed doors. So, no one ever suspects that they are abusive. They intimidate you, they destroy you, they isolate you. They steal, they lie. They are also protected by their friends, their family, their co-workers, and many times by their victims. Because what an abuser will do, abuser will knock you down, and then he will pick you back up. And every time you think, okay, he's not going to do this again. He promised he wouldn't do it again. And the whole time, he is grooming you so you stay, so you don't leave. And he convinces you that the reason he's abusing you is because it's your fault. You caused it. You did it. And it's not true. No matter what you do, you don't deserve to be abused. Not mentally, not physically, not sexually, not financially. You do not deserve it. Domestic violence doesn't end with a police report or a court date or a new house or a new state. It changes you. It changes how you breathe, how you sleep, how you speak, how you react to situations, how you trust, how you make decisions, how you love, and how you think. It alters your mind, body, and soul. It changes who you are. And it changes you for life. You will never go back to the person you were before. Never. I've been free from my abuser for 5 years. When I was with my abuser, we had window blinds up to the windows, curtains up to the windows. He nailed blankets over the windows, kept the front door shut all the time. So you never knew if it was daytime or nighttime. You never knew if the sun was shining, if it was raining, or what it was doing outside. To this day, I do not have curtains up to my windows. Why? Because I want to see what it's doing outside. But yet, I still have days where I can't go outside. I feel like a prisoner in my own house. Because that is how he conditioned me. I got Buddy because I didn't feel safe. And then when I got Buddy, I got Buddy to be my protector. And now that I say that, it's a very sad thing to put that much burden on a dog to protect me. I should be able to protect myself. I should be protecting the dog, not the other way around. But I can't. Most victims suffer from some form of PTSD. I have it. There are still nights I wake up scared to death, crying, because I have nightmares of what I went through. I've been to counseling to help me deal with it. But there are still times. Now I'm going to give you some statistics. Domestic violence happens to 1 out of every 3 women and 1 out of every 4 men. 1 out of every 3 teenagers. Annually, 12 million people are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking. There are 1,300 deaths every year. 2 million injuries. 15.5 million children witness domestic violence. This has got to stop. Because if you're in a domestic violence situation and you have children, your children are either learning to put up with it or they're learning to become it. We need to break the silence to end domestic violence. The domestic violence hotline number is 1-800-799-7233. If you need help or you know somebody that does, please call that number. Once again, that phone number is 800-799-7233. I will put it on the screen throughout this video. The shirt I'm wearing today says, "When we recover loudly, we keep others from dying quietly." Right before I made this video, I got a notification on my phone from the news. And another person lost their life due to domestic violence. That's another person too many. And I will tell you this. If I didn't get the courage to walk out that door when I did, I would not be here today. Because you don't know how many times he told me, "I can kill you and no one will know until they either start smelling your body." He said, and by that time, he said, "I'll be long gone." He said, and no one will know. Because why? Because he kept me isolated. He kept me isolated from my neighbors. I lived there for 3 years before any of my neighbors even knew who I was or even knew that I lived there, because they never seen me. And I know you're going to ask, how did you hook up with an abuser? Let me tell you, an abuser is a charmer. Abuser becomes your knight in shining armor. He's everything that all your past relationships weren't. And why? Because you sit and you talk to them. And they ask questions. They are very good at searching out information from you. So that way they can become the person that your ex-relationship wasn't. And then when they have you, then they start changing. Then it starts out of saying you did things that you know you didn't do. But they keep telling you over and over, you did it. You did it. Yes, you did. I seen it with my own eyes. This is them speaking. I seen it with my own eyes. You did it. So then you start questioning yourself. You ask yourself, well, did I do it? Maybe I did and I don't remember. I'm telling you, being in a domestic violence situation is no cakewalk. And if you're in one, I understand. I've been there. And if you haven't, be thankful you have never been in one. And pray to God you never are. I want to thank you all for watching this video. If you would, like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, leave a comment, and share this video. If you don't do nothing else, share this video, because this word needs to get out. And until the next time, remember, don't let anyone steal your sunshine or your smile. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.